Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's third and final video. We're going to have a look at the weather. It's 14 days for today's final video. Day 10 will take us to the 24th of August. And we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the GFS and ECM ensembles. Maybe around a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at the CFS-V2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks. Gets us into the first half of September. And I shall get on with that for you in a moment. Just say that first. The video release day was our 6 AM UK weather forecast, and we've also released, of course, the second update for the summer bank holiday weekend. So check out those two vids if you'd like to do that. Like, share, and subscribe on all of today's videos and content. And thank you so much, everybody, for doing that for GavsWeatherVids. Thank you so much, everyone. We need to put on around 85 subscribers to get ourselves to 18.7k. So if you could give us a sub, tell your friends and family to subscribe, that'd be incredible. Winter updates will be starting within the next couple of weeks, in the next fortnight. The first winter update will be Sunday, the 1st of September. So if you're ready to buckle up and brace yourself for another season of winter updates, they get underway within the next fortnight. Make sure you sub to the channel to be able to keep up to date with our weekly winter updates from the 1st of September all the way to the end of November. And the GavsWeatherVids winter forecast will, of course, be released at the beginning of December. Great week, getting exciting, isn't it? Wow, wow, wow. A lot of laughs yesterday, I noticed, over the little cat. But made a cameo appearance behind me. We won't be interrupted today because the door is shut. So there won't be any cats appearing in the video today. But it was a funny moment, wasn't it? Funny moment. I didn't know what it was doing. I just saw it out the corner of my eye, you know. And there it was, appearing on camera with a little cameo appearance. Anyway, I'm so sorry I'm off on a tangent. Thank you so much, everyone. I hope you're having a lovely Wednesday. Right, let's start off with the situation in the tropical, subtropical, Atlantic, Caribbean, etc. This is Tropical Storm Ernesto. Just here, giving maximum sustained winds of 70 miles per hour with a minimum central pressure of 991 millibars, moving northwestwards at 16 miles per hour. Clicking on Ernesto and going here, we can see this is now forecast to become a major hurricane. So I anticipated this yesterday, so I thought there was the prospect of this being upgraded. National Hurricane Centre are now upgrading it. So in the next few hours, this will become a Category 1 hurricane. It will then be moving northwards up towards Bermuda by the end of the week and the weekend. Just south of Bermuda, that's where Ernesto will become a major hurricane. We'll check out how powerful this is predicted to become in a moment. But a major hurricane Ernesto just to the south of Bermuda there by the end of the week. So going to give a real battering to Bermuda by the look of it. And then we'll push further northwards to head up toward Nova Scotia, etc. Still as a hurricane, actually, by the beginning of next week. Then we have to keep an eye on it for ourselves. Not as a hurricane, but potentially as quite a significant area of low pressure. Well, let's go to discussion. See how strong this is predicted to get. So, Category 3 Hurricane Ernesto now being predicted, giving maximum sustained winds of 115 miles per hour. 115, not 50. 115 miles per hour in about 48 hours' time. I say we'll just be to the south of Bermuda by then. Hitting Bermuda probably as a Category 2 hurricane, giving maximum sustained winds of 110 miles per hour, and then carrying on northwards off the eastern seaboard of America. Very significant hurricane, of course, this. So Bermuda have to batten down the hatches and take care. And we'll be keeping you updated about Ernesto, of course, over the coming days. Coming back home, central temperature is now sitting at 18.4. That is 2.7 degrees above 61 to 90 average provisional to yesterday, to the 13th of August. I think that will hold just about in the 18s, by the time you get through to the 15th, to the middle part of the month, but we'll probably gradually start to edge downwards now. So I've got to think we might finish up in the 17s with this August, but it is going to be interesting to see, where we finish up through the second half of the month. These are the 500 millibar height anomaly flow charts from Penn State University for the next week to 10 days. We've got the ECM WF on the top, and the GFS is down here on the bottom. So 500 millibars, 18,000 feet, is an area in the atmosphere where high pressure and low pressure are being moved around by the jet stream running above. Blue extrapolates to below average heights, which is low pressure. Yellow, orange, and red to above average heights, which is high pressure. So in the 7 to 10 day time frame, the ECM is looking quite unsettled, low pressure, below average heights in the North Atlantic coming into western Europe, bringing in a westerly flow. So, looks quite unsettled. And some of that low pressure, some of those below average heights will involve the remains of Hurricane Ernesto, probably as well. And then this is how the GFS is looking very similar, really, again, with below average heights in the North Atlantic, heading into the west of Europe, bringing unsettled conditions. So in a 7 to 10 day time frame, of course, this does get us towards a bank holiday period as well. Both the models are looking unsettled, but the devil will be in the detail, because there might still be some fine weather, and that will be particularly so in the south. That trough of low pressure is in the Atlantic and up towards Iceland, Greenland, etc., which implies the most unsettled weather likely to be in the northern half of the country, while more southern areas might get some drier weather at times. So you've got to firm up on the detail, but the overall pattern in the 7 to 10 day time frame is looking quite unsettled there. These were GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles the next couple of weeks. We're at Cardiff today. The red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for Cardiff, starting off around to above average at the moment. Upper air temperature gradually going to be easing downwards, though, as we move into the third week of the month, much closer to average compared to where we've been through the first half of August. As we head on into the last week of the month, again, very close to average. There is quite a lot of scatter within that, so I've got some really quite warm ensemble members up here. We've got cooler ensemble members down here. I've got a mix of both, warmer and colder sectors alternating with one another. The GFS control room is blue lines a little bit like that. Cooler here, warmer there, cooler there. So looking rather zonal, I think, with some of those ensemble members with warm and cool sectors alternating with one another. Precipitation-wise, going to be quite a lot of dry weather over the next week or so, although we do get some wet weather coming through again at the end of the week, but generally quite a bit of dry weather to come through the next week. Perhaps more unsettled into next week, though. That's something to keep an eye on, maybe, some more wet weather to come as we move into next week and up towards Bank Holiday weekend. Some of that, as I say, might involve the remains of Ernesto as well. Temperature anomalies on the 14th, 22nd of August, a little bit above average for England and Wales, near normal to maybe slightly below average for Scotland and Ireland. Precipitation anomalies on the 14th to 22nd of August, most areas drier than normal, but nearer normal for western Scotland and also, interestingly, for southeastern parts of England. Latest wind from that from earthnullschool.net shows that we've got low pressure just to the south of Iceland today. Another weather system coming through here, and that will be bringing more unsettled weather in through tonight and tomorrow into the north, and then maybe a bit further southwards overnight Thursday and into Friday. Right, let's start going through chart data then. This is our latest UK Met Euro run. It's looking midnight on Saturday. Low pressure on Iceland, high pressure down to the south, and bringing in a flat westerly flow. So that brings most of the unsettled weather over the weekend into the north. Showers up there, mostly dry, you would have thought, down in the south. Into next week, weather system comes across the country Monday to Tuesday, bringing outbreaks of potentially quite heavy rain with it. And then beyond that, we go into a cool and showery west-northwesterly flow by next Wednesday, and by then I think that is the remains of Ernesto just there moving into the North Atlantic. Whether we will get a hit from Ernesto beyond that, you can't say, because that's as far as we get to with the UK Met Euro run. Certainly looks like Ernesto is getting caught up in the jet stream there. You wouldn't rule out the chances unsettled weather later next week from the remains of Ernesto. Right, well, this is how Icon is looking. So once again, weather system clearing away from Friday into Saturday. Then we're into flat westerly flow through the weekend. Low pressure north, high pressure to south, dries in the south, most unsettled up in the north. There is Ernesto appearing on the extreme left-hand corner of the chart as you're looking at it to the North Atlantic. Let's see what Icon does with that. So through Tuesday to Wednesday, an area of low pressure pushes across the country, not to the remains of Ernesto. Just another low pushes across the country, bringing unsettled, actually quite cool weather, wind swinging into the northwest. There's the remains of Ernesto just there by midnight next Wednesday. And again, inconclusive about whether we will get any direct impacts from Ernesto. As far as we get to with Icon, it's to midday next Wednesday, by which time Ernesto is just here ahead of it. Transient ridge building up from the southwest. So where would Ernesto go? Possibly up there and not give us much of an impact. The alternative would be for Ernesto to just flatten off the ridge and bring unsettled, wet, windy weather potentially as we approach a bank holiday weekend. So again, very uncertain where that will go. What about the KMA? Let's have a look at that one. So again, weekend is looking flat as a pancake, low pressure to the north, high pressure to the south. Beginning of next week, a weather system pushes through, bringing a band of rain maybe into the south. There's Ernesto just there by the 20th of August. What happens after that? So Ernesto moves into the North Atlantic, develops into a significant area of low pressure, but generally impacts Iceland with that, although could bring some wet and windy weather into Scotland. There's the position of Ernesto, of the remains of Ernesto, by the 23rd of August. Not much of an impact on the south, could bring some wet and windy weather into Scotland. Beyond that, we head in towards the bank holiday weekend with high pressure reaching into the south, bringing quite a bit of dry weather, but north looking a little bit more unsettled. So probably not much of an impact from the remains of Ernesto with the KMA. GFS midnight run, again bringing in this westerly flow over the weekend. High pressure south, low pressure to the north. Early next week, a trough of low pressure digs in the Atlantic. That could bring some wet weather even into the south. There's Ernesto just there. It really is a case of all eyes on Ernesto at the moment, isn't it? So as we go into the middle next week, Ernesto becomes a significant area of low pressure close to Iceland. Could bring some wet and windy weather into the north of the country. And there is a weather system actually that's moving across the country that's, you know, associated anyway to Ernesto. Will go all the way back to below up here probably. So the GFS midnight run doesn't bring much in way of wind, but does bring some outbreaks of rain across the country later next week associated with Ernesto. And then beyond that, where the midnight run drops in an area of low pressure to our south and west before building higher pressure towards the end of the month. So we get this ridge extending from the Azores, Scandinavia. Winds turning into the east. I haven't seen much in the way of easterly winds this summer, have we? It's been a very, very westerly summer, I think. But the GFS midnight run, anyway, bringing in some easterlies for the end of August, the end of mid-tropical summer. There's a trough of low pressure, but underneath that ridge, that will bring some quite wet weather into southern and southeastern parts of the country. We end the GFS midnight run under a trough of low as a ridge between the Azores and Scandinavian highs begins to break. Rather strange. Oh, hang on, let me just see who's calling. Right, okay, that's the that's the phone answered. Let's go through the GFS 6 then. So again, we start off on Saturday and got low pressure north, high pressure to the south with flat as a pancake and westerly mostly dry in the south, showery up in the north. There's Ernesto appearing in the North Atlantic just there on the 19th of August. We go on beyond that and we find that Ernesto develops into an area of low pressure just to the west of Ireland of the UK by the 22nd of August. That's next Thursday. So that brings a band of rain across the country. We do get an impact from Ernesto with a band of rain heading eastwards through the second half of next week, followed by showery conditions into the north and the west. Beyond that, when we go into bank holiday weekend, rather unsettled, showering in the north anyway. And then heading in towards month's end, no particular ridge building from the Azores, Scandinavia with this GFS run. Actually, we just continue to look rather mixed with low pressure to the west of the UK and Ireland. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share and subscribe. Thanks so much everyone for doing that. Drop a comment, let us know what you think about this and all of our videos and content. And don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids. Give them a chance to subscribe to, and I thank you so much for doing that. Around 85 subscribers will get us to 18.7k, so if you could give us a sub and tell your friends and family to subscribe, that would be awesome. Thank you so much everyone for doing that. GM, again with low pressure north, high pressure south into the weekend, westerly winds dominating through the early part of next week, looking quite cool, unsettled and showery, with a trough pushing through, followed by northwesterly winds. Now, where's Ernesto? So, GM doesn't have Ernesto as big a storm moving into the North Atlantic there early next week, as most of the model output does, but that is the remains of Ernesto just there. Oh, if we follow it through, by Thursday next week, Ernesto is down here, just to the west and the southwest of the UK and Ireland. Now, we don't get a particular impact from Ernesto for GM, but we do look rather unsettled as we go into the bank holiday weekend with this low towards Iceland, bringing further wind and rain, particularly into the north. And then the ECM, finally, again, we have this flat westerly flow into the weekend. There is Ernesto, much more intense, appearing in the North Atlantic into the beginning of next week. Showery trough moving through across the country through Tuesday. Then a little transient ridge building up ahead of Ernesto, which is to the south of Greenland by Wednesday. And Ernesto stays close to Iceland, really, for the second half next week. Probably brings wet and windy weather into the northwest. I doubt there'll be much rain down in the south, but we'll check out the rainfall forecast in a moment. That's set up at day 10, which is Saturday the 24th of August. So low pressure is in control as we go into the bank holiday weekend, looking rather showery at the very least. The remains of Ernesto just here, and there's a little door to low, but looks like it's heading our way as well. So Ernesto, the upshot of Ernesto with the ECM is just to make the Atlantic increasingly unsettled, really. So this is a precipitation forecast based on the ECM run from Tibetio.com. Plenty of rain to the north and the west over the next 24 hours or so. That comes down into the southeast, light and patchy in nature. Into the weekend, a lot of dry weather, showers in the north, mostly dry down in the south, and then early next week we start to bring more wet weather in from the Atlantic, again, particularly to the central northern western region, but some rain getting down to the south and the southeast. There's Ernesto, or wet weather from Ernesto, by next Thursday, coming into Scotland and Northern Ireland, bringing some quite heavy rain in with it then. Not much getting into the south and the southeast, you'll notice, but into the bank holiday weekend it turns more unsettled. Even in the south we start to get some wet weather pushing through then. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensembles today. 4 day 10 from the Icelandic Met Office gets us to the 24th of August. 13 members of the ECM ensembles with low pressure to the west and northwest, high pressure to the south and southeast, and winds coming in from a westerly or southwesterly direction. Dry to the south, wettest up in the north. We've got 12 that are more unsettled with deep low pressure in the North Atlantic, bringing, quite a strong westerly flow with rain probable even into south. We've got 8, including the operational run. That's the run we've just been looking at. Again, looking quite unsettled with relatively deep low pressure in the North Atlantic. We've got 7 with low pressure to the northeast, so rather showery with that. And then we've got 6 with low pressure to the north, northwest, high pressure to the south, southeast. That brings the driest weather into the southern half of the country. Finally, we've got 5 with low pressure in the North Atlantic. That looks very flat and westerly. So it really is a case, as it has been throughout August, actually much of the summer, between low pressure in the North Atlantic and high pressure to the south, and so the driest weather would be most likely in the south, Western weather would be most likely in the north. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. Gets us to the 29th of August. 11 members of the ECM ensembles then are showing a change, building up a ridge from the southwest, so that sends a low pressure way to the northwest and would turn things drier and warmer. We've got another 11 though, looking unsettled, low pressure still in the Atlantic with a westerly flow. We've got 9 with high pressure over and to the east of the country, plenty of dry and warm weather with that. We've got another 9 with low pressure in the North Atlantic. Again, that looks rather flat and westerly. We've got 6 with high pressure to the east. Low pressure is out to the west. Quite a dry weather coming in with that, but relatively warm with a southerly southeasterly flow. And then we've got 5 with high pressure, again building to the east, low pressure out in the Atlantic. That will bring some drier and warmer weather too. So as we approach the end of August, possibly a bit of a hint of a pattern change to high pressure building to the east. Could that be setting up the typically warm and dry start to September? I wonder. CFS 2 finally, these are 500 millibar height and lines, bring it down to week pairs. The first week pin takes from the 14th to 20th of August. Next week with low pressure to the north, high pressure to the south, and bring in that flat westerly flow. Week 2 will be the 21st to 27th of August. Low pressure in the North Atlantic around Green Iceland, high pressure down to the south. Again, winds coming from a westerly or a southwesterly direction, most unsettled in the north. Week 3 will be 28th of August, 3rd of September. So high pressure then to west, southwest, and over on the continent. Could there be a trough of low coming through here, though? The dip in the jet stream, maybe. And then finally, week 4 is the 4th to the 10th of September. Low pressure just to the north of Scotland, high pressure out in the Atlantic. Well, it's a little bit cool and showery, that, with winds coming in from a west or a northwesterly direction. But of course, it's 4 weeks away, so we see. Time will tell. Right, we're done. If you've enjoyed the video, phone interruption and all. Yesterday it was a cat, today it was a phone. What will it be tomorrow? I wonder. Probably somebody at the door. But if you enjoy the video, please you like, share, and subscribe. Thanks so much everyone for doing that. Drop a comment, let us know what you think about this and all of our videos and content. And don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids. Get them to subscribe too. We thank you so much for doing that over 20-minute video today. They're getting longer. But we did have a lot to discuss. All eyes on Ernesto. Right, well, just tell us what's happening on channel tomorrow. You have a 6 AM UK weather forecast. There will be the European outlook, and there'll be a 10 to 14 day as well. Keep checking back to the channel for more. But for this one, that's all for now. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday, and bye for now.